even though you said with this Tom Brady video, you kind of slapped together the thumbnail in the last second, you were working on this video though, and it was probably like in your mind and working on it like for months, right? So like,
well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So even though like you slapped it together, you probably had thought about and conceptualized and like imagined what this thumbnail was going to be like, or like what it was, because you had spent so much time in the thick of this video.
Well, even like I feel I've spent a lot of time just researching the BuzzFeed videos and their thumbnails. So I feel like I just kind of like knew how to make a thumbnail. So even today, like, well, I won't lie, like some take me 3 hours. Like I know it sounds crazy, but just like I overanalyze things. But
I wanted to ask you about your thumbnails. So do you still create your own thumbnails?
I do all that. To like sometimes I'm like, oh, maybe I should hire, and but it's something I want to get better at. But like it's something that I feel it is just so personality, and that like there's just some things you can just never give away. So who knows, like down the road, if I had like a massive team and someone's just designed to do my thumbnails, of course. But like as of right now, like it's something I enjoy doing.
Where do you use to create your thumbnails?
It's a process. So I use like down to Photoshop, to Lightroom, to Canva, to just like I have like it will like there's so many different features. Like I'll do some stuff on like Adobe like Premiere Pro. Like I'm like, oh, I need to do this. So like it's a process. Like just even that like.
And how long on average? Like you said, they take you about 3 hours, your thumbnails?
I'd say on average an hour, but like I've had ones take up to like 3 hours.
Like
and then like
ones?
everyone, like, and it won't even seem funny. Like what would be an example of like one that would take forever, but it probably doesn't, it's actually not that hard, but it's more of just like, I've skimmed through this entire video for stills and I'll have like 10 different stills of me, just like the difference between me, like this. And then like I crop them all down and Photoshop them. And then I like compare the 5 different ones till it's like the perfect angle. And so it's like that. So like even like that calf one, like it seems simple, but I probably scanned through like 100 different slow images and just like which one till I found the perfect and like compared them and then moved it and changed it. Like, so it's like, even though it's really only like 3 images, it's actually like down to like which is maybe borderline obsessive, but I feel like
it's working for you right now.
If it's, I just kind of got to do what works.
Yeah. And so you just kind of have a feel for what you like, what you feel like is going to pop out.
Yeah. And like I said, like sometimes, and this can be the part of that drives you insane, because sometimes then you'll be like, oh, I'll make like 4 thumbnails for one video. And then like, oh, had I just published that one an hour earlier, it would have done better. And you just gotta.
Yeah. You can go crazy.
Yeah, and you just got to take that with a grain of salt, and that's probably one of the hardest things. You can never know. Like sometimes I'll have one, I'm like, this is gonna pop, and it flops. So like you can have some idea, but you can never really fully have an idea.
Yeah, my gosh, that's crazy. And do you pay attention to do you pay attention to your click-through rate for your videos?
I go through ebbs and flows. Like sometimes, like I wish I had more time to look through my analytics. Like I always joke, like my next person I'll hire will probably be like someone once a week to go through my analytics. Just like hire like a finance or like a tech student or something. Just like, here's a couple. If anyone listening to this does that, I'll pay you a couple $100 just to go once a week and just like tell me all that. Like I try to go through all that stuff, but like I said, there's so many other things I have on the go that sometimes that ends up slipping.
Yeah, you got to pay attention to it. But I mean, the thing is, at the same time, it's like you can get, as a creator, you can get kind of caught up in the analytics almost too much, where it's like this analysis paralysis kind of a situation where you're like, oh God. And where the reality is that your focus and energy needs to be on creating content, conceptualizing ideas, like doing all that stuff. So yeah, it's like this fine line, of not going too crazy in that direction either. Okay, so we're nearing the end of the interview, and I call this the Power Hour segment. And it's the same questions that I ask everybody who comes on the show, and just kind of blurt out your answer as I ask you the question. So what would you say, and we kind of talked about some of this stuff, what would you say are the defining moments of your YouTube career?
Defining would definitely be that like 20,000 one, like that weight off the shoulders. I'd say hitting 100,000 was a big one. And then the Nike sponsoring video, which like if there's ever time to believe in like manifestation, and like that was it, like down to like I'm actually one of the first like YouTubers Nike's ever worked with, and like that was a dream in New York that I, like 2 years ago, was like, when that was, I was saying that trip, like I told myself one day I'm going to create content with YouTube to like inspire girls to move their body, get into sports, fitness. And like I told me, and I've said it every single day for like 2 years, like before I go to bed. And then I got the email a couple months ago, Nike being like, we love to sponsor, like go together on a video. And so that was like a, 2 years. Like this is even like, if I could show you, I'm balancing the computer like on a Nike box right now. Like it was like, that was definitely a very special moment.
So, okay, like, so you were really truly manifesting this idea of working with Nike. This has kind of been a dream of yours.
Yeah, like my mom was a Nike sponsored athlete years ago, like when she was younger. And so she just got like free stuff, like clothes like that. But like I grew up, I wore Nike, every basketball shoe was Nike, every sports bra was Nike. Like I love Nike just because like, I think because of my mom.
Your mom.
And I'd look and I'd watch the commercials. Like those were the commercials that inspired me to make videos. It's like those inspiring Nike ones where you just like motivate. I was like, that just like is, I can rewatch, and I'd rewatch them before basketball games, like the Nike ones. And I was like, just so passionate about it. And so it was 2 years ago, I was looking up at a Nike billboard in New York, and it was this big inspiring trip, a lot more. We'd have to go into another podcast about it. But I looked up and I like distinctly was like, one day I'm going to work with Nike. I was like, I don't know if I'll be creating content with them, if I'll be modeling for them, whatever. I was like, but I'm going to work with them to encourage girls of all shapes, ages to get into sports and like have fun with fitness. And that's all I knew. And then every night I have like a little saying I say to myself. I'm still not positive if I'm like, if it's God or manifestation or karma or if it's just to tell myself whatever it is. Like I have a little saying, and one of it was to like work with Nike, a little part of it. And and that happened. So that video's up, and I'm doing another project with them right now, and it just it blows my mind every day. I'm like, this can't be real, but
yeah,
crazy.
It's like they say that the best times to do like manifesting or all that is right after a workout, right when you wake up, and then right before you go to bed. And there's something about like your brain and your subconscious, it's like really like opens up and can like absorb it. So I think I'm a big believer in that too. And so every single night for 2 years, you kind of have your little saying that you say, and Nike gets a part of it. And now, boom, it's happened. Yeah,
it's been a little funny that like I had this like a little epiphany a while ago. Like I was reading it, I was like, oh, do I still say it? Because it happened. I was like, obviously, like, I have big dreams like where we want to go together with Nike and like knows, but like so that was funny.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Crazy.
I love that. Yeah. What is the hardest part for you about being a YouTube influencer?
I feel like I was even thinking it was not that I have to. How do I say this? The never-ending to-do list and accepting that, and it's been a really hard thing. Like I feel like there's some burnout. There's like two different sides of it. There's burnout of like you burnt yourself out ideas. You can't think of any more ideas. You're not passionate about the ideas you're making. And like I had that years ago, and I had that first burnout. And now I'm learning. I'm kind of like I'm about to go on vacation for 3 weeks, and I'm like 5 days away from complete burnout, which is good. But like I'm aware of it, so I've like planned accordingly. But it's for me, this side of the burnout is that I can continue to put on, like I can make bigger videos. I can make more videos a week. I can add an extra like video. I can get this much further ahead. I can add this edit. I can add one more scene. I can add this. I can do it. And like the idea is like you said, I have videos planned for the next 6 months, and I have to accept that like, cause they're there, I don't have to go to bed with anxiety. And like, it's been very hard for me. Like right now, even like I technically could go film a scene and do a bit of this and that. And like, because there's no 5 o'clock cutoff, you can always be working. And there was a time when I always had to, but now I have to be like, the only way now for me not to work is to not work. So that's why I was like, luckily almost that my friends and family and close ones don't live in the same city. So I book away time and go see them.
Yeah. So it forces you to shut off.
Because I just have to accept, like I used to always chase the like checked off to-do list. As a YouTuber, that will never happen. And so you just have to accept, like you take a step away from it and then you get back to it. Or hire enough people that you have the small to-do list. That you have it.
Yeah. Gosh, that's amazing. If you were to get started today, what would you have done differently?
What would I have done differently? it's one of those things. I think I would have created more content behind my absolute purpose and not what I just thought was trendy, or I just thought it was like I was like, oh, this will kind of do. But at the same time, it was as simple as like those haul videos, for example, which, yeah, they weren't what I was doing. Nike found me via one of those old Nike haul videos. Oh. So I'm like kind of like,
yeah.
Like I was like, as much as
it
like
served a purpose.
Kind of happened for a reason. I think the only thing I do is when I was in junior high and high school, I didn't take computer sciences because girls don't take computer sciences, and I thought it wasn't girly, and so I was like, I don't want to take this. I'm like, now I'm like, my God, what I would kill to be able to know that stuff.
Yeah.
So going trust your gut back then, like little like 13-year-old Kelty, and take that computer science class. Like that's the only one.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. What are you most proud of when it comes to your channel?
I think there's like 3 types of girls that always reach out when like the DMs I get, and there's kind of just the themes of my channel. I think the people that resonate, and anytime I get one of them, I think the one is like college athletes or big time athletes, and the transition away from being an athlete. It's a mental illness I call post-career syndrome. We don't talk about enough in the sporting community, because it's kind of like once you're off the team, you're not a part of us, and we're strong athletes, we can't talk about it. But I think now we're being more open about it. So I do get a lot of college athletes like reaching out, either they're going through it or they're aware they're about to go through it, versus like back then I had no idea. It was just like something, you're not on the team, you go into utter depression. So whenever I get a DM from like a female athlete that's about to go through that, might go through that, or it was overcoming anything that like, and that my channel inspired them, that they like are still athletes afterwards, and like that realization, you won't be training for a championship, but you can find fitness, you have that work ethic, you can apply to somewhere else. So I say that, and then some girls I think find my channel for motivation, and they're like, you know what, if you can overcome not whatever the challenge I was, like I can do this little thing. And I think it's all about storytelling. So like just reminding, I can come over this challenge, you can come over that challenge. And then so just like, or third, if I just make someone laugh at the end of the day, like I'm good.
I love that. If you could change one thing about YouTube, what would it be?
Ooh. I would go on for a few things. I love it. And like, never bite the fan that feeds you. And I do understand from both sides. Like sometimes like YouTube can't give us everything, but just a bit of transparency. Like I would love to know ahead of time if like something's going to get demonetized or something, like even as simple as like, I want to show a progress picture and like it's in a bikini, and like, because I have boobs or something, it could be demonetized, and that, and like those are the kind of, I'm like, I would love just a bit more of like a concrete, or like this word would be demonetized, or this and that, and like I get it, people can abuse the system, but just like that, or a bit more of like union. Like I know it sounds funny, but like we work for YouTube, and I know we're all like contracted out, but like we're all making money through it, and at the end of the day, like tomorrow I could just be like, run dry, you're not getting views, you're just so it's just a weird career that it's like
you're so dependent on this platform.
Yeah, so as much as I want to complain about it, I can't, because I'm like, I just gotta bow to the platform.
Yeah, I know, it's true. What has been the biggest mistake you've made on your YouTube channel?
Biggest mistake. I think of just like understanding, like I don't have to be so extreme sometimes, and that people follow me also for the balance message, and that like extreme sells, but I think like you can do it in other more fun, joyful ways. And like you said, those videos I did like weren't healthy, and I'm promoting health and fitness, so it's kind of like ironic in that sense, and like it worked out, so I don't want to complain, but like there's got to be a point where like, and people could see it happening, so it was like when I had my burnt out video, people were like, no crap, Kelty, like look what you did. Like, so it's like, and realize even now like I can have a bit more fun videos and do a couple of those, and like the people will still, like even as simple, if I ever put a Q&A out, I'm like crippled, I'm like that's lazy, like you're better than that, like no one wants to know what you went to college for or whatever. But like
people do, you've grown a following, so I'm sure at this point people do, and
have to respect that. Like I want that communication with my subscribers to get to know them, and so have those those kind of videos, and not every video has to be like, I traveled to the moon. Like,
well, the thing is, that's not sustainable. That's the thing. That will eventually cause burnout. I mean, like you said, there's a season, there's a time, and I think like, you know, the last 6 months for you is like kind of really establishing yourself, and you might say, okay, I'm going to kind of like chill out from those kind of videos, but then you might miss it, you know, 6 months from now or 5 months from now, you're like, I'm ready to do that again. You kind of jump in there, do some of these crazy videos again, you know, and it's like, I know what you're saying. It's not really sustainable, but at the same time, there is like, I'm sure like a drive that goes along with it, like an excitement, adrenaline that I can't see you stepping away from. And not like you're not saying you are, but I'm saying like it's always going to be a part of you, whether or not you're going to do it full force in every single video, or maybe like, okay, maybe once a month or once every other month or something like that.
And that's what I did is the last like few months is that's what I was balanced. Like I have 1 to 2, maybe 3 big challenges. And it's nice because I can like fully do them and it's better content. And the other ones are just, they're not fluff. They're like super entertaining, but they're just not like, they're just a bit more like come to brunch with me kind of thing. And I make it a good video, but like, it's a lot more basic versus that's a lead up to like I trained to be a boxer or Olympian or something like that. So and because I love those.
Yeah. So have you ever done any of those videos that you're like working your tail off and it bombed?
And bombed? Ooh, yeah. I can't think of like, but there's been like a couple where like I borderline like killed myself. Not but like I've like give it up like everything and then it like flunks and you're like and that's always like the biggest fear. Like I have one right now that's a 6-month long challenge and it's part of that series. And like I've been doing it since, and I kind of like hinted at it, so I think people know it's coming. But like I started the planning of it like beginning of July, but I was just going to do it for a month, but I'm like, this is going to take me 6 months. And like I'm devoting 6 months of my life to like this insane thing. And if it flops, like it will just be like this. It's a skill, but like this useless skill, and you like devote 6 months to. But you just like you're practicing willpower and other things. That's tough to tell myself, but yeah, there's definitely been some that have flopped.
Oh my gosh, you don't remember specifically which ones?
I'd have to like go because it's always. I'm trying to think. Let me pull it up real fast.
Yeah, I can pull it up for you too. Well, it would probably be. Let me see. This is like the more recent ones. You want to look here too? I don't know if
the recent ones have done pretty well. I'd say the one and trying to think. Oh, I know. I did a Game of Thrones one. That's definitely. I deleted it because I don't want the footage on the internet anymore.
You don't want it up there.
I'll explain. Like I just reenacted like a bunch of scenes from Game of Thrones, and I released it during the time of the Game of Thrones. And like I did insane things. I mean, like I dressed up like Game of Thrones characters for a fitness class and pretended like with all like I ate like things back then they would eat. Like it was just like absurd. Yeah. And I got like 20,000 views versus all my others were getting like 75 at the time. But I was like, and I told everyone, I was like, this is going to be the best content you see on YouTube. Like I just hyped it like it was going to be and it just flopped. And I was like, I thought that was my next viral thing, and it was the like not even that it just did half decent. It was the worst video I've done in a long time.
Why not just keep it up there? Maybe it'll. I don't know. Game of Thrones is done, so I don't know if it'll ever pick up in the future.
It's just more like it's like I just think of being memeified, and there's a couple of scenes in there that like if the internet wants to find it, it's not that bad, but I'm just like, let's just not. I just don't want.
You don't want it out there. Yeah. What is the best opportunity you've received as a result of your YouTube channel?
The Nike one. So it's like we're in the works for something that could happen. Okay. And I'll make sure to announce it. But if it happens, it's literally like a knife to the side, dream come true. Oh my God, like that can't be real. So I can't say it now, but we submitted the content for it on Monday. So hopefully in the next few months we see it happen.
Okay. Well, put it in your manifesting rotation. I'm sure it's in there.
Yeah. Always. I have every day.
Yeah. And last question, what is, and you actually kind of already answered this too, but what is your YouTube superpower? Meaning, what is it that you are very good at that you don't need to really try so hard that has contributed to your success?
I think the premise is like, even it's what my channel actually is, and like where I think a lot of YouTubers don't realize what their power is storytelling. I think storytelling is the most powerful medium on the face of the planet, every movie, every speech that inspires a nation. You know what I mean? It is literally can make or break so much. And it's just, and there's only so many themes, I think, of, overcoming challenges, love, joy. Like there's so many human emotions, but it's always like the reminder, or just like connecting with it. We're all humans. We all go through these same struggles, all this. And I think fitness is naturally a beautiful way to express these human challenges in a very, it's just very overcoming, or it's just joyful place. It's very natural, humanistic. And so I think I've just spent a lot of years living a lot of life for someone my age. Like I went through a lot of hard times, but overcame those hard times and things I didn't think I was going to make it through. And instead of just like being like, oh, that was so tough, I've used those stories now to help other girls that are going through it. And I don't say there's guys as well, but I think my story, as funny as it was, I went through a lot of crap and worked really hard to, even though life was hard, to chase my dreams, get out of it, and just use those stories to inspire people in other ways. And I think that is every YouTuber that's successful, even down to beauty gurus and all that. Like they spend a lot of time telling stories. And like, if you're good at telling stories and you have a message, like that's the most ultimate superpower. I literally can't think of anything more powerful.
Storytelling. So true. It's so, so true. I've interviewed a few people, and when I'm watching their videos, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's their storytelling. That's kind of what it is. And people don't always realize that, but storytelling is huge on YouTube.
Oh yeah. It's beginning of time. We've told, our ancestors told stories around campfires, and that spread, and that's what every religion is a story, every books and movies and just everything. You don't realize where like every speech that every politician is given, like everything's a story, and it's just like motivating people to, for whatever it is, but like that's the foundation, I think, of human nature.
Yeah, I love that. Well, it has been amazing getting to know you and having you here on the podcast. And so for people listening or watching, where can they find you if they're not familiar with you and your content?
So pretty much only two places. It's going to be YouTube. So just type in Kelty O'Connor. You'll find me there. I'm also on Instagram. I'm not as active. I'm like respond to my DMs and all that as much as I possibly can. I'm just like so focused on producing content for YouTube. It's like 2 IG stories a week, 1 IG post. So try and be on there. Yeah. Just like I'm not going to be the one that you follow for like a new fitness workout, or just like of a way we can communicate. So communicate with me on Instagram or in the comment sections on YouTube, and that's about it.
Amazing. Well, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, then make sure that you comment below if you have any questions, if there's any kind of big takeaways from this episode. I want to hear from you. I want to see what it was. And if you're listening to this, and kind of come over here too and leave your comments and let us know what you thought about this interview. This has been an awesome. I really, really enjoyed chatting with you. So thank you so much. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm still flattered that you have me. So I appreciate it.
Oh, of course. Thank you. Bye.